It's in the quiet moments that sorrow finds me, and in those times, I allow the full force of the feelings to wash over me. Honoring them helps me move through them, and I always find myself sitting in gratitude for how I got to have this relationship in the first place. Hello, and welcome to the Connect Podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to this Monday minisode where I share an insight designed to help you live into what lights you up this week. And I really want to focus on the living into piece today. I had a very interesting week of mixed things happening, and don't we all? Perhaps you did too. This week was one that began with losing my godfather. He was later on in his years. He lived in a different country. And we had actually just started to create a closeness that I was really savoring. And that happened over the last few years. And through my life, he's always been somebody who I looked up to so much as an aspirational type of person. He was a very successful person in business, and he was just filled with life and filled with just quick wit and humor and just so sharp. And, you know, he was busy living his life and I was busy living my life, but I knew that I could always count on certain phone calls through the year and some really great conversations. And I have wonderful memories of when I was younger, when our family would spend time together, when we would visit or he would visit. And he just left everyone always feeling buoyant and joyful. And he had this energy that, he's one of those people who you would leave and say, wow, he's got some energy. And you just wanted to be around it. It made you feel good. And so the last few years, as we age, sometimes we mellow a little bit, and there was just more of a depth and a warmth to our conversations. And I appreciated it so, so much. And I'm really grateful that we did have that time to reconnect on a deeper level later on in his life. And I guess later on in my life, really, because there were always those opportunities, and life gets busy, and getting on airplanes and flying around and orchestrating things with little kids and all that kind of stuff. It can really be something easy to put off. So I'm navigating a little bit of regret as well as a little bit of grief, but I'm left with gratitude, and it's interesting because something that I notice is with his passing, it brings up all of the other losses from the last decade. And I don't know if you've heard some of my other episodes. I've shared little bits here and there, like where my whole self-care strategist journey began. And that was really in 2013. The impetus for it, the seed for that particular focus in wellness was planted when my sister passed away from cancer. And really, since that time, in the last 9 years, I've lost 9 family members, parents, my sister, aunts, uncles, a couple of nephews, and now my godfather. And, I don't want to be a downer here. I wanted to come on because I know that whether or not you've experienced sorrow, someone has, and you will at some point in your life. And so knowing how to navigate it, it's not something that can really be taught, but we can learn from each other, from our experiences. When I started this podcast, I wanted to dive into more episodes about this type of thing. And I kind of have shoved it off a little bit. I've shared little bits here and there. And yet, as I talk to people and hear them sharing what they go through, It is very widely believed and agreed upon that we, in our culture, in our Western culture anyway, we really struggle with talking about when sorrow visits us because we're very forward focused, we're very action focused, and go, go, go. And these emotions can be tough to sit with, especially if you lose someone who you have unresolved issues with, where you don't have closure. And I must say, the one thing about those 9 people in the last 9 years, and I've had many others through my life as well, I had a lot of, my parents were a little older, like they were 33 when I was born. So their family was older. So it's just going to happen that way, in your extended family. Some people may experience what I'm experiencing like a decade from now or 2 decades from now. It's just part of the human journey. And so as I focus on all of this, though, like it builds on this idea that we need to be able to have space to talk about when sorrow visits and honor it. And I mean, one thing that has happened is I have a beautiful community of people who I feel like I can just completely bare my soul to. And they're so understanding and loving and kind. And I've cultivated that. So that's the first thing I would invite you into is start cultivating that now while life is good. Or if you are, perhaps you're going through some sorrow right now. And I just want to say my heart is with you because we are all connected. We truly, truly are. We're all connected. We're all part of humanity. And so I'm sending love to you. Surround yourself with some people, even if it's one person, to have that connection, to be able to reminisce with, to be able to talk through your feelings or just sit quietly and remember or look at pictures or however it is you process grief. It's so important because in our society, it's easy to shove it down and keep moving and get busy. And there's enough to distract us that we never deal with the sorrow. And so I'm glad that I have found the times to deal with my sorrow. And really, it deals with me. It raises its head and says, hello, we got to talk. Because I am somebody who has a lot of ideas and a lot of things on the go, whether it's in my mind or in reality, and people around me and family and all of this to keep me busy. And so it's been easy for me to put off this conversation too. And so I do envision myself having some conversations, perhaps in interviews with people about their stories on this podcast as well. I am looking at making some shifts, really some beautiful upgrades for the new year. So we'll see how that all plays out. Stay tuned. And truly, it's in the quiet moments that sorrow finds me. And in those times, I've learned to allow the full force of the feelings to wash over me. Honoring them helps me move through them. And I find myself sitting in gratitude for how I got to have this relationship in the first place. Living alone, not being connected to anybody so that we don't get hurt is not any way I want to live. I want to live full out. I want to have connection. I want to truly be in people's lives. I want to be there for others. I want to hold space. And I want to also receive. I've gotten a lot better and I really focus on practicing receiving, people holding space for me and giving to me, because that is what our life is. It is that beautiful symbiotic exchange of giving and receiving. And so I'm really grateful that I have that in my life. And I invite you into that as well. And so this was just a very short little minisode. Yes, here I am Monday. Woo, let's start your week. Let's talk about sorrow. And this is life. But to put a positive spin on it, to end the episode, I will say, the sorrow visits and then it moves along. And then joy comes in its way. And then a baby is born. And then a new song comes out that makes us want to dance. And then a new idea comes. It's going to help a lot of people. And then you go to your favorite restaurant, you have an incredible meal, and then the phone rings and somebody has great news for you. And then you get the promotion and then you launch your business. Like life is filled with all of it, right? And then sorrow will visit again. So it is about stepping into really knowing it's part of life and it's not going to last. And the sorrow does fade, but feeling those feelings is so important. Thanks for listening to me share the winding story here today. And I'm sending love to you. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I hope that you can fully embrace the joy in your life and have gratitude for the things that are working so that you feel more free to spend time sitting with the sorrow when it does visit you. I like to fill things fully. So let's live full out together, shall we? Have a beautiful rest of your week. I'm going to see you on a Wednesday episode. Wonderful new things coming. And I want to invite you to share this episode if it landed for you. Rate and review it based on the fact that that is how these podcasts get out there. That would be so wonderful if you do that for me. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you Wednesday. Big blessings.
Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.